Hello, what's up? In this video, I'll show you how to take your studio photos using a single light setup. So in this very video, I'll demonstrate for you the camera settings and how to position your light and how you can get better photos in case you have only a single light in studio. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you find the video helpful, simply hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe in case you're watching and you aren't subscribed to this channel. So the very first thing I have to take into consideration is the camera gear. So in order to take your studio photos better, you have to own a camera, that is obvious, and always you have to own a trigger. So a trigger is basically a remote control for your light, and you can set it remotely depending on the light that you're trying to use. So I'm using the Godox trigger using the Canon 6D camera, and the lens of choice is the Tamron 70-200mm f2.8, but the aperture doesn't matter at this point. So for my light, I'm using this reverse umbrella. You can see it is the 165 centimeter in diameter. So this is the reverse umbrella, and for the light I'm using the Godox AD600 BM. So we are basically using a single light or one light for this kind of demonstration. So for studio images, before you go ahead to take your photo, the very first thing is getting the right camera settings. So whenever you're taking photos in studio, the first thing that you have to do is you always have to cut out the ambient light in studio. So by this I mean you don't want to be distracted by any kind of light around the studio. So for the first photo that you have to take, you have to make sure that everything is pitch black or dark, so that you can only introduce in the flash that you're going to be using for this kind of demonstration. So for this, I'll first of all switch off my trigger or my light. Then make sure you start by using the base ISO, that is 100. So that is the first thing that you have to do. Make sure the ISO is set to 100, yeah. And for the shutter speed, you always have to make sure that it is slightly below. Make sure you're not going into high speed sync in studio. So for the shutter speed, we shall be shooting at 1 out of 200th of a second. So we have set the ISO to 100, and we have also set the shutter speed to 1 out of 200th of a second. And the last thing that you have to set is the aperture. So by aperture we mean the amount of light that the lens blades are going to be letting onto the camera sensor. So the aperture is going to enable me reduce or cut out the amount of the ambient lighting right here in studio. So remember, I told you we have to take a pitch black image first. So turn off the light and you take the image. So for this kind of session, I'll show you what I'm trying to mean. So my camera settings, I'm by the way shooting in raw and large, and I'm shooting in landscape. And for my white balance, I'm shooting at 5,900 kelvins. So camera settings, ISO 200. Then for shutter speed, 1 out of 200th of a second, and I'm shooting at the aperture of 7.1. So I'm just going to be using 7.1 for this. Then I'll take the test photo right now. So let me just take this. So I've turned off my light basically. And as you can see, the image I've taken is dark or strictly black. I've taken a very dark image. So what do I have to do in this case? I'll introduce in my light and I gradually play around with the camera settings or the power of the flash or the strobe I'm trying to use. So for this, I'll just come and turn on my trigger. Then for the power, I usually start at 1 out of 8. In case it is too strong or too bright, I'll reduce on the intensity or the power of the light. So for this, I'll start at shooting at at 1 out of 8 for my light. So I've introduced in the light, and I'll take the image. I'll just turn on my trigger and I take a test photo. And as you can see, this is basically perfect. So the image I've taken right now is very nice and perfect. But the other thing you have to take into consideration, make sure for studio images, the light is not spreading to the background. And for this, you can notice that this umbrella right here is placed on the side, and the light is actually feathered away from the subject. The umbrella is not pointing directly to the backdrop. It is slightly feathered away from the subject. So we are just getting that soft light hitting the subject, and the light is not hitting the background in its full intensity. So we are going to take another image right now. So let's just take. So as you can see, this image looks perfect. So in case you want to get better results, so remember, this light is hitting from this side and going to this side. So in order to remove shadows from this side that doesn't have the light, what we have to do, we shall introduce in this reflector. So this is the reflector, and I've put it on a stand, and I'll just move it closer to my subject in this case, so that the light that is coming from the umbrella is going to hit this reflector and try to remove the shadows from this side of the subject's face that doesn't have the umbrella. So basically, I'll do that, and I'll take this, and you can see it has tried to eliminate the shadow. And in case you feel like the image is too bright, you can reduce on the ISO or increase on it. So let me take another one. Yeah, and you can see these are really perfect images for studio in case you have a single light in studio. So shall take a couple more of these images, and you'll be seeing each single image on the screen as you're trying to take these very photos. So let me have you turn the body towards the light. Yeah, same pose. Just put one here and put the other one here, or you can, yeah, I like that. Perfect. Nice. Okay, let me get half of that. This is beautiful. Can you stretch this one towards your hip? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, this is brilliant. So let me just have you push forward, sit on the edge, the same pose, the same thing you're doing. Yeah. Just put this hand there. Yeah. Then the other hand. Then the other leg. Let it. Yeah. I like that. Perfect. Can you try looking towards the direction of the light? Up to the umbrella. Okay, let me get one more. Perfect. Nice. Okay, so basically, this is how you can use a single light for your studio images. And in case you have benefited from this video, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe. In case you have been watching and you have found value out of this video, Ronix from Ronix Photography, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in yet more videos on this channel. Don't forget to keep practicing and as well keep creating.